Welcome back to the podcast. I'm interviewing an industrial engineer. So I'm interviewing Mike. He's an industrial engineer. He's an industrial engineer. So, Mike, tell us about your job.
All right. Yeah, actually, my role is specifically a manufacturing engineer, but sometimes it overlaps with industrial engineering.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, yeah, so I work at a facility that makes very special medical devices. We make machines that screen women for breast cancer.
Oh, okay.
So it's the device actually is used in a procedure called mammography. So, in making a mammography system, there's many different process steps to build the part of the system. I specifically work in an area where we're making the detector. So, in a mammogram, there's an X-ray that's shined through a woman's breast, and underneath the breast is a detector. So, what happens is some of the X-ray gets absorbed by the breast tissue, and some gets passed through. And the detector sees the X-ray and we create an image, a two-dimensional image for a radiologist to review. And from that image, you can often see a lot of different features of the breast, including cancer. So making that detector is a lot involved. My part involves a lot of the processing, some of it in clean rooms to make a lot of manufacturing steps required to make that detector. So my role is in the clean room, working with a lot of special equipment, and other process steps include a lot of manual operations. So I work with operators, I work with equipment, and my role is to make sure all the processing meets our requirements. It works, and then of course, improve the yield. So we want everything that we process, we want it to pass. We don't want it to fail. So when we fail things in the process, they're scrap, so we have to throw them away. So part of my role is to save money. So I want all of our process steps, all of our manufacturing steps to have really good yields. So most of what we put in, we want to pass so that it gets put into a product that we can sell. So I'm heavily involved in all the manufacturing steps and implementing new equipment, um, working with R&D to implement new technology, um, and a lot more. But that's kind of a high level overview.
Okay, that's really cool. So, where do you basically work from? Like, do you work at a building or like where are you from?
Yeah. So our location is in Newark, in the Glasgow area, off 896. We have a site here where we have a couple hundred employees. Um, We have a lot of different manufacturing areas in the building. We have R&D. We have a software group, um, and I'm very close to the manufacturing floor. So I have a cubicle and an office space, and whenever there's an issue or I need to go out to the manufacturing floor, I'm right here. So it's not a job that um, that I can work remotely from. It's usually um, it's usually easier for me to be on site. So I'm generally here, working with the people on the line.
Okay, that's really cool. Do you mind if I asked you like some questions about like your work life balance and stuff like that?
Sure, go for it.
All right, so how many hours do you usually work a week?
So as a base, we're expected to work 40 hours. So I usually come in at 7. I take an hour of lunch. That gives me some kind of mental and physical break. I'll take a walk in the woods, or I'll go play pickleball in the park, or just eat lunch with some of my coworkers. And then I usually leave around 4. But in as an engineer, we're often called to help out when things um, go wrong, even in the off hours. So, on occasion, I need to stay late to help solve a problem or to fix a piece of equipment. That happens. But in general, I'm 7 to 4.
Okay, that's not bad. So, would you say this job is like flexible? Like, would you say it's really flexible with like things you want to do and stuff other than work?
Well, there's flexibility a couple different ways. Flexibility in the things that I can learn on the job. So, if I'm interested in certain aspects of what we do here and other things that I don't work directly with, I can request to be included so I can learn things on the job. I'm always learning new things, which is important. Um, in terms of work-life balance, um, you know, we have, we're given 7 days of sick personal time. Or if emergencies come up, I can, my boss will understand if I need to go deal with them because they're affecting my life. In addition, you get vacation time. So, when I started here, I had you started with 3 weeks vacation, um, which is not bad. And then, I've been working here for over 18 years. So now I've got 5 weeks vacation. Um, so that gives me a lot of time to spend with the family and to get a break when I need it.
All right, that's good. So, what was I saying? Is it cool if I ask you about college? Like, did you go to college to become who
Sure.
you are?
Yes. Yeah. So I went to Rutgers University in New Jersey. Um, my major was ceramic engineering. Um, and that major has since been kind of absorbed into a major called material science, materials engineering. So that's yeah, that was quite a ways, quite a number.
Sorry, you cut out. Could you say that again?
Yeah, I was just ending with, that was a number of years ago that I was in college. But do you have any more questions about my college experience?
Yeah. How many years did you spend in college?
Um, Traditionally, to get a bachelor's degree, it's 4 years. Um, you could do it in less time if you were really disciplined and took summer courses and winter courses. You maybe could do a little bit quicker, but 4 years was the normal time to do it, and that's what I did. It's a good number. It's a good amount of workload. So engineering is a harder major to do any quicker than 4 years for most people.
Okay, so I'm guessing this job is more like, I mean, you're not really doing anything like with your hands, right? Like working with your hands. Or what would you say?
Good question. So I really enjoy working with my hands. So I do get to do that with my current role. Um, a lot of times I'll be implementing, right, buying new equipment, things that we don't have that we want to implement because we're either going to try a different technology or replace a tool that's getting old. So I'll physically be able to work hands on with the equipment. I'm planning experiments. I'm running my own experiments. Um, so I get to work in the lab um, and on the floor um, a good deal. So in my current role, there's a good mix of time on the computer, writing reports, writing validation reports, and reading change orders and things like that every engineer has to deal with. But it's a good split between doing that stuff as on the computer and working, with my hands in the lab or and then actually on the manufacturing line. So it's a good mix.
Okay, that's good. So would you say like on the way to college, like when you had to go through college and stuff like that, a lot of people say like it's really challenging going through college. What do you think about that?
It is, I won't sugarcoat it. Getting a degree in engineering at least was difficult, right? There's a lot of you have to have a well-rounded education in the sciences. So there's going to be a lot of chemistry, a lot of physics. You have to do a lot of math, and there's a lot of other things, subjects that you have to get covered. Some of that is really hard, to be honest. But what I found is, when I was in college, there was always help. So professors would have office hours where you can go and ask questions. That was helpful. When I was in college, I had a couple study groups, right? So people, my friends that were in my major, we would get together a lot of times to do our homework because not everyone's going to know how to solve every problem. So as a group, we were able to find solutions a lot quicker, and I think it helped each of us get a better understanding, especially on difficult topics. Um, but I would say, as to go into engineering, you need to be serious. You really want to love it. You want to do it, because if you don't love it, you're probably not going to stick with it.
That's a good answer. So what would you say about your career? Like, what are your like favorite parts of your job, and what do you not like about your job? Would you say?
Yeah. Okay. Good question. What I like about this role, I like being able to go from having an idea and going all the way to putting it into practice, to implementing it into our manufacturing process. So if I want to implement a new technology or a new piece of equipment, I can do it myself, not completely myself, but have a big role from the very beginning, from researching what kind of equipment I want to buy, to running the experiments, to getting the results that I need, to validating it, and then to implementing it into production. So seeing a project from start to finish is is probably the one of the highlights of my job. Um, as far as things that I don't enjoy about the role, so a lot of times, a lot of the paperwork that we have to do can be a little tedious, um, and it requires other people in the process to they have to give input, right? They have to approve my changes, for instance. They have a step in allowing me to finish my project. So sometimes people get really busy and they don't have time to do the things that I need for my project because everyone has different priorities. So sometimes things out of my control cause my projects to get delayed. So that's one recent frustration. Um, but otherwise, that's kind of minor when in comparison to the positives of my job.
All right, that's cool. So what would you say like one of your biggest projects was, or like your favorite projects that you've done so far?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I had a really big project a few years ago. We had a really big problem in our manufacturing process, and it was causing us to scrap, a couple $1 million every year. Um, so it was a project I worked with our R&D, research and development department, and there was an idea. The R&D had an idea, and I worked with them on bringing this idea to an equipment maker, a group in Asia that could build us equipment to run the tests that we wanted. So I was able to work with R&D with an outside vendor in Asia and develop an entirely new piece of equipment that didn't exist prior. And so from start to finish, bringing that new custom tool to our site, installing it, and then implementing it, and we were able to see millions of dollars in savings. That was by far, the biggest highlight project that I've had so far, just because of being able to see this really incredible amount of savings while getting to work with some really smart scientists along the way was just really satisfying.
Damn, that sounds really interesting. I really like that about the job. So I think time's up. So I mean, I had a couple more questions, but it's already 15 minutes. So
Yeah, it's up to you. If you can go longer, I can stay, but it's up to you.
Actually, I just have one more question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So, would you say you travel a lot at the job, or
Um, there used to be more travel. There's still some travel. I- if for instance, there's a conference that we would sometimes go to. Um, that'd be probably a few days, 4 days away, um, in the different cities. Occasionally, we would do a trip like that, and then some other travel that is less frequent would be visiting um, a vendor, someone who supplies us material or equipment. That kind of comes up here or there. Um, and but most recently, we have kind of consolidated a lot of our outside facilities that we used to work with into one building. So um, I'd say I travel maybe once a year, so not too much,
also not as much? Damn, so it's not
not
really.
as much as I used to.
Oh, okay, that's so cool though,
But
traveling.
it depends on your role. Uh, there's certain people who work more with contractors who work with us at other facilities that may have to travel more. But since my role is mostly focused on our production line here on site, um, there's less opportunity for me to travel.
Oh, okay. So, where would you say the farthest you've probably traveled was, or?
I've been to Korea about 5 times. That was like 14 hour travel time.
Damn,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. All right, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up here.
Okay. Well, thanks for your call.
Yeah, so thank you. I appreciate you putting in time to call me, bro. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, no problem.
All right.
All
I'm
right, nice
gonna.
speaking with you.
Yeah, thank you, and nice meeting you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Same.
All right, see ya.
Okay, take care.